Remember to subscribe for daily top Reddit stories. Okay, story time. What does it feel like to get nutted in? Just asked my girlfriend. Honestly, I don't feel when you nut. Your nut isn't that powerful. This is my suicide note. Sometimes it feels suddenly warmer and liquidy in there, but most of the time I can't tell. Sometimes you can't really feel it. Other times you feel the pulsing and wetness warmth. Weirdly, it makes me insanely horny even if I've already climaxed. It's shitty though, like showing up to a party that's already over, lol. Then when you stand up it feels like a period. Why is this subreddit so goddamn horny? I've never been able to tell other than he says he's going to come. His body language, facial expressions, or all three. Afterwards, if he keeps going, it's just much wetter and squelchier. Gooey and warm, pretty much like you'd expect. And on an emotional level, assuming you have a strong, loving bond with the source of the nut, it's quite comforting. Edit. Thank you for making my first Reddit awards come from a comment about getting nutted in. Wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I've never really felt anything in the moment, just a warm wetness when he pulls out. Suddenly it's extra warm and noticeably wetter, and then it runs down your thighs, but I can't feel it at all, just a puddle when I stand up. I ain't gay, but now I need to do an experiment to solve my hypothesis. I can't feel it, but watching a guy come in me is so satisfying. When a guy tilts his head back and moans, oh my god. It really depends on a lot of factors. Most of the nerve endings are concentrated around the vulva and the first 2 inches of the love tunnel. Because of this, there is just not a lot of distinct sensations deep inside the love tunnel for many women. Some women will not feel anything when a partner comes, and that is normal. Some women will feel the pen 15 pulsing, and some will also feel extra warmth spread suddenly deep inside. These are also normal things to feel. The angle makes a difference in sensation for many women. Some claim that they can most easily feel the ejaculation in the doggy style position. Oh, and it's all hot as duck. It is the lead up that is the best. Watching my husband's face and feeling his body go into this primal state is the hottest. I can feel the pulses in the actual semen when he pulls out, which just feels wet and a little sticky. If you take it up the ass, then expect sperm farts. The best part is the pulsing, throbbing sensation the cuck makes inside you. After that it's just warm and wet. And you mainly know from their change of pace and breathing. Depending on who it is, you might feel a throb or two. Everyone is different and it varies day to day, so sometimes it's you might miss it and sometimes you really know. Edit. Did not expect this to get seen as much. Should explain that I'm a dude and it was 6 with a MTF girlfriend I was talking about. It's a wonderful, intimate feeling if it's with someone you love. You literally can't get more intimate than that. Like bags of sand. I got a boner reading all these comments. I hate pulling out. The pulsing as he's coming, and an instant warm feeling. Yes, it's already warm in there, but there's definitely a difference. You can also feel the swelling right before he comes. It feels really great, but it's not so great to clean up, haha. My girl says that I get super hard, then she can feel me pulsing, and depending on the day mood she can feel warm little spurts on her love tunnel walls. After that she says all she can feel is wet and slippery sensations. The only other thing she can feel is me leaking out of her as she lays back, or it leaks down her legs as she walks to the restroom. Who TF gave his the wholesome award? This has to be the most random thing ever, but it does make one wonder. Warmer 70-30 mixture of hair gel and saline solution to body temperature. Place into a little baggie that allows for a small but noticeable drip. Lift your shaft and tuck the little baggie between your shaft and ballsack. Stand up and try to get to the bathroom before it gets to your thighs. I feel like a snail dragging its discharge everywhere when I stand up after getting nutted in. D. Love tunnel. When the pen 15 is big enough, I feel the contractions. Sometimes the shot itself feels like you hold a small garden hose inside and press low level anal. 99% feel everything. Same as love tunnel, but with more pleasure throat. Disgusting. You have to swallow quickly consecutively, otherwise you choke or inhale it. Mouth. Easy, like you would spritz something in your mouth. Just swallow without breathing or you'll taste it. It's a pain in the ass. It feels super hard. Like harder than it was suddenly, and then it feels warm and wet. It's kinda gross after it is dripping out, but I usually send a text every so often randomly in the morning when we are both at work. His cum is still dripping out of me and I'm still thinking about the hot morning sex, and he seems to enjoy that, so all is well. Feels so good. I love how he shakes and I can feel him throbbing inside me. His moans when he finishes or during when he tells me he loves me are so sexy. I'll grind my hips against him longer just to feel it drip out of me and savor the feeling of connection. It feels extremely warm and like something is pulsating in you. I gotta tell you, it's pretty nutty. Like that feeling when you're almost done with your diarrhea but you need to let that extra out, except in reverse. Feels ducking amazing, my dude. Such a huge turn on. It's also fun if he stays inside you after he busts that nut while you're cuddling and eventually gets hard again. Then ducks it deeper into you and gives you a second load. UNF. Hot as duck. Red heart. This is actually a good sex related question. And everyone is oddly mature. Congrats. Edit. And it's gone. Serves me right for jinxing it. Feels really, really bad. Sauce. I'm coconut. Gloopy and warm. Quite lovely. It makes me feel like a Twinkie. Squishy. It's warm and wet and I feel a slight bit of pressure. Gets really hard and bigger and then warm and wet and drips out. Hot. Depending on the person who does it to you, it can feel great. It can also make you think, oh shit, I hope the birth control is working. In that moment, I really want to get pregnant. I have the copper IUD. I do not actually want to get pregnant. The feeling lasts all but seconds. But in those moments, something evolutionarily deep and innate stirs within me, and in the hopes that we make a baby. Confusing but also powerful and awesome. Sincerely, someone who loves to get nutted in. I've only felt it happen in my ass, and it feels great. First the cuck gets rock hard and swells. Then I can feel the cuck pumping the load into my ass. It gets me so hot that it only takes a 30-second hand job to finish me off afterward. Just put a yogurt in your love tunnel and squeeze, you'll see. Ask your mother. My wife says it feels like hot lava pressure watching her insides. It's not so much the fluid that has a specific feeling, it's the increase in thrusting speed to reach climax and the feeling of the big neck getting harder, swelling and pulsating, depending on how hard the nut is. It gets warm in the love tunnel, and then if he keeps thrusting you can't really feel it because there's so much jizz, and then when you stand up to go clean it's like a mucousy substance that is kinda hard to wipe up sometimes. So, ducking. Good. Honestly, amazing. I don't know why. It's just hot to me. I've only ever done it with one man. My husband. Because I was incredibly careful with all of my other partners to make sure I never got pregnant. After I had my tubes removed it was open season for my partner and I. But, the cleanup is disgusting. I hate the feeling of it coming out. It makes me sick to my stomach. Make thick in the warm. Well, sometimes the pistachios hurt but most of the time it feels good. Not a question I needed answers to, but I am still here. What the duck? Guy. From what I saw on corn clips, I was assuming it was gonna be a life-changing event, like a sort of transcendence feeling. And yet, when it happened, I only knew cause the guy told me he had finished. After a few times you kinda feel a small tingling back there, but that's about it. Now, when the pen 15 is out, however, that's when you suddenly feel an urge to go to the toilet, but that's a whole another story, I'd say. You might feel pulsing, you might feel the load. I think it honestly depends how big the load is, like if it's been a week, and they've come back from a trip or something and you know you're just about to get stuffed like a pizza crust, your love tunnel feels like heavy before you get up. And then you get the horrendous feeling of it running down your leg as you do this awkward Conor McGregor walk to the bathroom. and no amount of wiping gets rid of it for some reason. There's always a little bit coming out. You can feel their big nick pulsing. I love the feeling of it and the satisfaction it gives them straight away. Just wish getting nutted in would make me come too, but I guess that's what hands fists are for. I love how original poster didn't start the question with ladies, you have my respect and upvote. As others have said, you feel the pulsating, which is nice, and then it just feels slightly warm but is barely noticeable. You can tell when he's about to go because it suddenly starts to feel really good and he gets harder, slightly bigger, and it starts pulsating, and then it feels like you just started using warm lube and it makes you more sensitive. It feels great until you have to get up and go pee it out. That's the not fun part. Shoot, I gotta make love to my wife. Thanks for listening. If I spark joy, hit me with a like and subscribe. I make new videos every day. Till then, check out another video or leave a comment. I love you. Have a great day, you smashing sexy person.